Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Let me take you through some of the things we're going to be talking about on the show tonight. We're going to be talking about Israel Adesanya. He's going to be fighting Jan Blachowicz in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He's going to take center stage tomorrow, so we talk about him on the show. Aaron Okodre has crashed out of the World Table Tennis Championship in Doha. We'll also talk about that as well. There's a lot to talk about in the English Premier League, in the Nigeria Professional Football League, and we'll look at all of that. We'll try to spare some time to talk about the Nigerian National League. We've not been having, we've not been given that time on the show. We'll see what we can do today to talk about it. There's a new rule change talking about accidental handball. The World Football Rule-Making Body have done something about the accidental handball rule. We'll talk about that as well. There's also CAF elections in the news. We will talk about all of that. So that's the menu for the show. I just need you to sit back and relax as we take you through all of this. My partners will be joining me later on the show. First, I want to bring you into all that we're doing because we want you to contribute. We want you to be a part of the show. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is how you can be a part of the show. You can send us a mail, get across to us on Facebook, and of course, get across to us on Twitter. Right there on your screen, that's what you need to do if you want to be a part of the show tonight. Get across to us, sportstonight@channelstv.com if you want to send us a mail, and also channels_sports. If you want to hit us up on Facebook, then you can also send us a tweet at channels_sports. Let us know how you feel about all the things that I've listed and some of the things you feel should get talk time on the show tonight. Austin, I know you're still with me. Let's move on and talk about another big thing that is going to happen at the UFC. We're talking about UFC 259. UFC 259. And, of course, we're talking about Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya is aiming to become just the 5th fighter to hold, in UFC history that is, to hold titles in 2 different divisions simultaneously. That's what he's hoping to do, and he's coming up against a formidable opponent in the Polish martial artist Jan Blachowicz at the UFC 259. I've seen Israel fight against people I never believed they could defeat. Yoel Romero comes to mind. The other guy, Paulo Costa as well, comes to mind. Robert Whittaker as well. But I think these days when I see Israel fight, I don't get scared. I don't know why, but I know he's coming up against a dangerous opponent. I want to get your thoughts in all of this, whichever angles you want to look at it. But first, are you scared of the opponent he's coming up against?
Yes, I was. I remember the first time it was announced, Tayo asked me the same question, and I said I was, because he's getting into a division that is new to him. But hey, he's just a step above the middleweight. And if you look at Israel Adesanya, love him or love him again, you'll love his confidence, and that's what it takes into that octagon, You mentioned Romero. We were all scared. Romero comes with all of the beastly look and talks, and it was a fight that while everyone was worried for Israel, he was so calm. And did you see the way the fight ended? The same thing he did with Costa. So much hype about the Costa fight, that Costa is going to do this, Costa is going to do that. Israel did it his way. 20-0 in the middleweight division. He has beaten virtually everyone you can think about. Robert Whittaker comes to mind. I remember that fight. I stayed up right here in London watching that one, and I was like, God, just do it for Israel. And he made it look easy. Came into the octagon with the sort of entertainment that the UFC has never seen before, and then gave them a spectacular fight in front of over 50,000 fans right there in Whittaker's Australia. That's how to do it like a champ. He's going to take all of this confidence into this fight against Jan Blachowicz. And for Blachowicz, is a very strong hitter. I'll say, Israel, try not to let this guy hit you.
All right.
Don't let him touch you much. But Israel has shown us that he can take those punches too.
I hope
so. Let's wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Let's wish him all the best.
Yeah.
It's going to test him, but I'm super confident he'll come through it.
All right, Alfred Goligwe as well is with us on the show tonight. Alfred, I want to say thank you for. Being part of the show tonight. I know it's not always easy finding out time of your busy schedule. So, okay, we'll get to that in a bit. We seem to be having issues with Alfred, but as soon as we are able to sort that out, we'll get Alfred into the conversation. All right, let's do a little bit of comparison, both boxes. Let's tail of the tape, so to speak. Let's see the records that both fighters have, and that's it in comparison. And you look at it. Adesanya is 31, Blachowicz is 37. Let me stay with his opponent first, then I'll come back to Israel. Is that 35 fights? Of those 35 fights, he has won 27. And out of that 27, knockouts, 8 of that 27. And also, in that 27, 9 times he won by submission and 10 times by a decision. He was down to the refs. And you look at his stance, his orthodox, his nationality, he's Polish, and you look at his height and reach, in comparison, it appears not much really separates him and Israel. So it's going to be interesting to see both guys. I mean, need I say that both guys are champions, and whoever wins will be a champion of 2 divisions. And Israel has never hidden his intention to cross over to the next stage. Feels he's defeated every opponent at the middleweight class. Let's talk about Israel Adesanya. His age is 31. He's had 20 fights. Out of that 20, is 120. 100% so far. Out of 20, 15 knockouts. 15 knockouts. Yeah, that's over 60% of his fights has won by knockouts. You look at his height, 6'4". You look at his reach, his stance, orthodox, and of course nationality. He is a Nigerian. So UFC 259. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what's going to happen. Like we always say in sports, may the best man win. May the best man win. Even though a part of us would love to see Israel get the job done. But sports, it is what it is. So may the best man win. All right, let me get back to Austin. Austin, we've done... all right, so let's just move on. I'm going to get the guys back into it because there's a lot to talk about. Looking at UFC 259, very, very interesting. And there are some other fights as well. But of course, this to me is the main one. Let's go on and talk about African football politics. But I promise you we're going to come back to this. It's going to form a huge part of the discussion tonight. African football politics is next. Let's talk about Ahmad Ahmad. We expected a decision from the Court of Arbitration yesterday. Yeah, and we didn't get that, but now we hear the decision will be made on Monday. March elections, CAF elections is going to be on March 12th. But CAS will make a decision on whether or not Ahmad can contest that election, seeking to overturn the FIFA ban. It was banned by FIFA for 5 years for a host of things that they consider to be wrong that he has done. And so he's appealing that ban. So the only lifeline that he could get is if the Court of Arbitration for Sports overturn that ban on him. So it's going to be interesting to see. Earlier, CAS said they were going to make a decision by March 2nd. It didn't happen. So now we have to wait till Monday to know if Ahmad will indeed contest in that election. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And so the front runner in everybody's book now is Patrice Motsepe, the guy, the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, the South African billionaire. It looks to be primed. A lot of people have also probably accused FIFA of, getting itself entangled in African football politics. So a lot is riding on this, and it's going to get interesting if CAS clears Ahmad. So we'll see what happens. All right, Austin, good to have you back on. I want to get your thoughts on this one. Hypothetically, if the big word, if Ahmad gets cleared on Monday, does he still have time to, I don't know, to put a campaign together and see if he can have a credible showing in the elections? You remember I said if.
Yeah. And remember the last time we talked about this when he got that provisional clearance to still stay on as the CAF president. You asked me the same question, and I told you that it depends on the amount of ground that he has covered. There's been a lot of bad blood here and there. It's gone because a decision would have done good to either consolidate or worsen the situation. But that decision is not done till on Monday. And I spoke to some of the guys on the other side, not for Ahmad, and they're saying that, look, we guys have moved on, we've shared positions. So it's going to be a dirty, crazy CAF politics that we're going to see. We just hope that at the end of this, it will stabilize and then they will do it for the good and development of African football. But definitely interesting times are ahead of us. Mosepe's bid gaining momentum every day. Let's see where this will swing the moment they announce whether or not Ahmad can contest the election. But Yemi, you know what? Let's just fold our hands, ask the questions we can, and brace up because we're in for interesting times with CAF politics.
All right, let's come home. Let's put Nigeria in the picture. You and I know that the federal government has not hidden the backing that is given to NFF President Amaju Pinnick to contest for a seat on the FIFA Council. And yesterday, one of he got that confirmation, the all clear. We've always known that the sports ministry was behind him, but now he also gets that federal government backing. So, what do you think this will do for his chances of getting onto that seat?
Oh, it boosts his confidence. It's good to know that the country is behind you. It's like a father saying, giving a pat on the back of his son to say, go win that race. So it was good that the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development came out to endorse full support for Amaju Pinnick. It also solidifies his preparations. He's been busy. Amaju Pinnick so far has traveled to about 30 countries, speaking to different leaders in football, even presidents in Africa. I spoke with him and he said the intention is to get about 40 votes or more. And with what it's looking like, if you take, for instance, the two WAFU blocks, A and B, he can get at least 13 votes. He's got support from North Africa. Kosafa is also there for him. And look, with this, it just goes to explain the stance, the status Nigeria has in Africa, as a footballing country, as a voice. So with Amaju Pinnick doing all of this campaign, it once more projects us and tells Africa of the relevance that Nigeria has. So it will be good to see him win that seat at the FIFA Council. And remember, as we've said on the show, first is to develop football, and then in the end, somehow rubs down to Nigeria. So let's wish him all the best. Okay. He's working hard. Federal government has supported him. We can only hope that it comes out good for him.
Okay, let's get Alfred into this discussion. Good to see you, Alfred. I'm very sure you've been listening to all the things we've been talking about. So you can just pitch in straight ahead. Any of the things that we've talked about that you want to make a comment on.
Good evening, Yemi. Austin, a very good evening to you. I'm delighted to be here, guys. And I've been listening in. And first, I take particular interest in the Israel Adesanya match of in the UFC 59 against Blachowicz. That is a bold step by this Nigerian fighter. I think for him to move up the weight category, if he wins this one, it will be the fifth two-weight champion that you have in this in the UFC. I make no mistakes about it. His opponent is a time-tested opponent, as doing very, very well. So I think he stands on the threshold of history, Israel Adesanya, if he gets this one. It just shows that at this, when you get older in this business, that this versatility that comes with it, that confidence that also comes with it, I think he just wants to take his chance at that. Some might say because of his background, where he's coming from, the weight and the rest of them might be an issue because the Polish guy looks stronger, looks bigger. It might count for something. But if you had watched Israel Adesanya in his last 5 fights, you know that it's all about brawn. He has the technique. He can wear you down. He knows where, that chink in the armor where he can, just somehow break you down and win. And that's what he's done in this last fight. And I'm rooting for him to get this one. You said me the best guy win. Hey, for me this time around, Israel Adesanya is the best guy. And I wish him the very best.
Okay, okay, Alfred. I will leave it at that, but we'll see what happens. We have to say it the way it is. All right, guys, let's just quickly talk about the Nigeria National League. We've been accused of not paying attention to the lower cadre, so it's an opportunity to quickly reel out the fixtures. Austin and Alfred will say a thing or two about the Nigeria National League. Let's quickly take a look at the fixtures. I'm going to read it out to you. Division A1, A2, B1, and B2. Let's talk about what's going to happen for Division A1. Very sure it's going to come on your screen. It's match day 4 in the Nigeria National League, the NNL. You have Hoya Sports, Division A1, AL Sports, taking on EFCC. You have Rara taking on El Kanami Warriors. Sokoto United will take on FC Taraba. Aklosendi will take on Mighty Jets. Gombe United will take on Green Berets. All of these games, Division A1, and it is match day 5. Let's go to Division A2. Quickly, I'll talk about the guys that Shekarau FC taking on Sanfara United, Kogi United taking on Yobe Desert Stars, ABS, Bubaka Bukola Saraki Babes taking on Kebbi United, Niger Tornadoes will take on Malum Fashi, Road Safety will take on DMD. These are match day 4 fixtures in Division A2. Let's go to Division B1 quickly. In Division B1, it's match day 4. Oshi United will take on Vandresa, the Lagos team. Ekiti United will take on Newi United. Calabar Rovers will take on Nilayo FC. Giant Brailers will take on Delta Force. Go Round will take on Dynamite Force. Stationary Stores will take on Shooting Stars. That's 3SC. We got to Division B. Group Division B2, where you have match day 4 fixtures. You have Julius Atete will take on Bendel Insurance. Remo Stars will take on Gateway United. Both teams are from Ogun State. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Ibom Youth will take on Ole Arrows. One Rocket, what a name. One Rocket will take on Abia Comets. You have Godowski taking on Bayelsa United. Godowski taking on Bayelsa United. These are the fixtures in the Nigeria National League. Okay, so let me start with Austin. In a minute, talk about the Nigeria National League. It has started, and I mean, it's not been getting the attention, and I don't blame those who say we've not really paid the Nigeria National League the attention that it deserves, and that's why we're doing what we're doing on the show. I want to get your thoughts on what you've seen so far of the Nigeria National League.
And it hasn't been so bad yet, since it's returned. Some competitive matches, some away wins. Shooting Stars, for instance, went to Omoku last time out to beat Go Round, which makes the Go Round and Dynamite FC fixture a very interesting one. And of course, Shooting Stars and Stationary. Try and see how big that would have been if you're talking about football in Nigeria in the 70s or 80s. So it's good to see that the NNL is back. We tried a lot of setbacks, but now we're already in week 4. That's a very important league where teams can actually think about getting better to make it to the NPFL. So we'll keep monitoring to see how it goes. Quite a number of teams out there. And then we have also said that development needs to reach the part of the NNL, because some of the infrastructure we're seeing doesn't make the play look so good. But hey, it is what it is. The action is going on, and we just hope that football at this level will get better.
All right, Alfred, pitching quickly, Nigeria National League. Okay. All right, so we'll continue with our conversation. I have a tweet here that I want to quickly read out. I find it interesting. Oladipupo Ayodeji on Twitter. You're referring to us and you said, good work, guys, but it seems you're not interested in cricket in Nigeria. Can you also add cricket to your analysis? I take your opinion, but I don't think it's a fair analysis of what we do. We talk about every sport, but we'll see what we can do. We'll include, we'll give you some more of cricket, but once again, I want to say I don't think it's a fair assessment because we do that. Alfred is back with me. Alfred, your thoughts on the Nigerian National League?
I think it's been exciting. Yes, you might not the attention the person you're talking about maybe in not perhaps bringing the game, but then that calls into question the level of support that this league is getting. I can tell you that they play some fantastic football there. If you look at some of the teams that have been able to get the interest of people, especially the locals where they come from, like any average football Shooting Stars fan now is bubbling, is hoping that perhaps finally Shooting Stars might find their way to the Premier League because of the results on the field of play, and they are generating so much interest at that level. Like in time past, a match between Stationery Stores and Shooting Stars is in time past was able to shut down the city. Yes, they've fallen on hard times, but we believe that moving forward they can come back. I think the organization of the NNL has improved a lot tremendously, if you ask me. And that's why the results, a weekend where you have 4 away wins in a particular league, it's not every day that you talk about, those kind of feats. Some of the things, untoward things that we hear in time past happen at the lower cadre are not happening. And we've seen an NRA that have decided on their own to do the job of the arbitration on the field of play, do it dispassionately. And so to that extent, all right, I think we're going to have very good teams. Very good teams come to the Premier League. Last season there wasn't any team that was promoted. So this time around, I think the guys who are putting this together, the board of the NNL and everybody concerned with the NNL have done a fantastic job of it. I'm looking forward to seeing a game this weekend, and hopefully the more away wins that happen in the NNL, we'll get to see some of them again this weekend.
All right, okay, so we'll leave it at that, talking about the NNL. Let's talk about the big boys now. Let's talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. Let's look at match day 14, games to be played. Let's show you what to expect over the weekend, Nigeria Professional Football League. Then I'll allow Alfred and Austin give me their thoughts around those games. But let's give to you what you're going to see over the weekend. Talking about Nigeria Professional Football League. There you have it. Rivers United will take on Jigawa Golden Stars. You also have the Aba Elephants saying we're taking on FC Ifeanyi Uba. You have Plateau United taking on MFM. You have Nasarawa United up against Lobi Stars. These are interesting matches that we're going to see over the weekend, all on match day 14. Still some more. Let's see. Katsina United will take on Sunshine Stars. Adamawa United will take on Dakada. Kano Pillars will take on Rangers. Heartland will take on Abia Warriors. All of these matches are match day 14. Wiki Tourists will take on Kwara United. And Warri Wolves will take on Aqua United. All right, let me start with Austin. A 2-minute sum up, if you can. Match day 14. What should we be looking forward to?
We're going to see some interesting football as usual. It's been a fantastic season already because of some of the talking points I've seen. Aqua United is beginning to flex some muscles. Aimba needs to prove a point once again. Plateau United must show that they can compete because of the sort of quality that they have. And that's why we'll wait to see what they can do in the next one, because Coach Abdul Maikaba won't be too pleased, particularly if you see the way they went against Rivers United. They were hoping to win that one, and then it ended in a draw. But for Rivers United, if they don't win against Jigawa Golden Stars, then a lot of questions will be asked. Let's see what Aqua United too can also do against Warri Wolves. If they can put up the sort of display they gave against Aimba and Aba in Ozora, then yes, they can win, because Nasarawa United went there and also won. So pictures of the match between Plateau United and Rivers United. And if you look at what we've seen so far this season, I mean, some teams are already showing signs of what they want from their season. We talked about Kwara United and the surprise of giving everyone this season. Plateau United, you'd expect them to, get some results, but they've not been getting. I think to an extent, they've also been unfortunate. I think also crashing out of the CAF Confederation Cup affected their campaign and did some things to their confidence. Mohamed is back now to the team. I think also Sunday Adetunji leaving the team also brought some, shake-ups to the team. But they will come back because I think Plateau United is one team that's got a lot of quality. Eimba, FC Fine-Uba, up and down, but I'm sure they would want to improve. But can they do that against Eimba? It looks very difficult, but this is football where anything can happen. So, let's just wait. Let's play the football on match day 14 and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay, all right. Alfred, your turn.
Well, I listened to Coach Fatai Osho, the post-match interview. Our good friend, Issa Daru, asked him the question. Because Eimba will play on the continent next week, asking the question, the fatigue, the long trips, and the rest of them. Would you like to play this weekend, or you want to rest? I recall listening to that interview. Fatai Osho specifically said that the NFF should help them. They did very long road trips from the north down to Warri to play, and that the guys are tired, they are knackered. They want to rest this weekend so as to play on the continent next week. I don't think the NFF the LMC granted that request, and so they will play short trip from Newi to Aba. So that game, York puts it at that level because the game against Warri was very bad. They fought back from a goal down. Victor Mpoma equalized in that game, and it ended 1-1. We've seen them drop points at home this season. They did it against Aqua United, their home game. I find Yoruba good enough to make them drop points this season again. We don't know. Eimba is a big team in Nigeria. When they get to this kind of stride that they are in now, with the game in hand, they are 1 point off the top. So it just tells you that they have the men and materials to deliver. So hopefully they'll do the job against FC Fine-Uba. Okay, there are other teams that catch my fancy. Sunshine Stars, they are in trouble. Since they beat Rangers by 3-0, they've not 5 games on. They've not been able to win 1. Their last game at home was against Adamawa United. Everybody beats Adamawa United. So it was surprising that Adamawa United got a point off Sunshine Stars at Akure. Now, the redemption song is what they will be singing when they go to Katsina to take on Katsina United, a team that has looked very, very decent at home. For Kano Pillars, they've been invisible at home. They host the Flying Antelopes, Enugu Rangers this weekend. Rangers have not really picked points the way they want to pick on the road. Like any decent team in the MPFL have beaten Adamawa United in their home. Rangers, one of them. But for that game, they struggled. Their last away game was against Wiki Tourist. They fought back. With Wiki Tourist going 10 man down, they fought back to equalize 1-1. And everybody thought, okay, with full complement of players against Wiki, 10 players, they can. But no, that was very, very late going. At that time, they faltered and they lost.
All
and
right.
They want to go back to see if they will get that corrected. So I'm looking at that game as a game that maybe Emmanuel Scotia, the coach of Pillars, and they might just drop points. But it's up for Rangers to raise their game if they want to get something in that game.
Alfred, I want to get your thoughts on the rule change. It's getting confusing these days, but I want to get your thoughts on what Gianni Infantino said and how far you think the changes will help the game.
Well, FIFA has never been short in changing the rules. I mean, each time issues come up, they want to tweak it. They want to make for better football experience. But my problem with all of this is that we watch European football and leagues elsewhere week in, week out, and it forms the opinion of what how these rules are tweaked and played. The question is, who applies the rule? Who makes the rule for MPFL matches or team or games in the African continent, or perhaps maybe elsewhere where you don't have the kind of resources that they have to deploy in football games? So in making all of these rules, it's like there are 2 sets of rules. The guys that can't afford it or can't afford the technology, you play by whatever rules. We've seen referees run into problems when the offside rule, perhaps from what the fans or maybe the home teams or people who it affects wants to interpret it for the referee. No, he has gone inside, he has not gone inside. And we don't have the benefit of VAR. So for me, I think these rules are for perhaps maybe European football or football elsewhere, and not African football. And that's a big concern because the resources to deploy all of these technologies and all of these rule changes and all of the artificial technology that they bring in to assist referees to make better decisions, most of them don't come to this side of town, and it becomes a big issue. But however, like Austin said, when you haven't seen that Josh Matcha's goal, it leaves a sour taste in the mouth. Where is the humanity in football? I mean, this guy scored what looked like a legitimate goal, but then the rule of it touch accidental, like it's called accidental handball and the rest of them. And they'll keep tweaking the rules, keep talking at them. Ultimately, it is at the referee's discretion. Yeah. The man at the middle at every point in time calls the shot. Every other technology is to assist. If the man decides that he's not going to award a penalty, we've seen it happen in time past where infringements are committed, Alfred, and you thought there was enough touch to merit a call, but he doesn't call it. It's the referee that has to find out a decision. Okay,
an interesting angle you have brought into it. I wish we had time, but we don't. We're going to wrap things up with the English Premier League. I'm going to reel out the fixtures. I'll allow you guys say 3 or 2, then we'll wrap it up, and of course we'll be back here again next week. First, let's take a look at the fixtures in the English Premier League. There you have it. Burnley will take on Arsenal. Sheffield United will take on Southampton. Aston Villa will take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brighton will take on Leicester City. These are some of the matches to be played on Saturday. West Brom will take on Newcastle United. Liverpool will take on relegation threatened Fulham. Manchester City will take on Manchester United. Manchester derby. It's going to get a lot of people talking. Tottenham will take on Crystal Palace. All right, so those are the fixtures in the English Premier League. All right, guys, you have a minute each. It's not easy, but you got to do it. For me, as we prepare to wrap things up, let me start with Austin. I know, of course, it has to be the Manchester derby.
It has to be the Manchester derby, but then I'm saying what is in it for Manchester United? Because they had a chance to pick vital points. They've played 2 draws. If they had picked even 4 points from those 2 matches, then they can go on to fight this Manchester City team. The last time I was with you on the show, it was Manchester City, taking on Wolves. And I remember we're going on halftime. I told you that Wolves can come back. Did they come back? They did. You asked if it was going to end somewhere. I whispered, I don't think so. It ended 4-1. Manchester City sweeping everybody aside. They've shown their intent. They won the title. Some persons haven't said give it to them. So it's going to be a very difficult game for Manchester United because the advantage is on the City neighbors. So let's see. But of interest is Leicester City Brighton. Leicester City and their lukewarmness has cost them so much this season. So if they can win away at Brighton, it can put some spark back to their campaign. Let's see what they can do with that. Can Aston Villa put more goals to Wolves on their season? Arsenal must win against Burnley. I say this because if you look at the league table and how the season is racing away, Arsenal needs to start getting those points to get out of the position where they are. Sheffield United are beginning to find one sort of late form. It will be a big test for them against Southampton. So for me, on Saturday, I want to see what Arsenal can do and what Leicester City can do. Liverpool, I don't know how they're going to pick themselves back up now because everybody feels they can go to Anfield and win.
All right. All right. So thank you, Austin, for your time on the show. We'll get to do this again next week. That's a good place to leave it, guys. I want to thank you both for your time on the show. Austin Okon-Akpan and Alfred Okoligwe. Thank you, guys. Hopefully we get to do this again some other time. That's the show tonight. Thanks for being a part of it. We're going to be back here again next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.